Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm just going to open by saying I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. We've had all the info through for the blessings, the stuff that's changing. I really hoped that they would kind of try and get a grasp of why are some blessings not being used and how can we make them more relevant or change them up completely if they just don't have any kind of, if they just don't make any sense. I don't feel like that's the way they've gone. They basically just said, the blessing is what it is. We're going to tweak some numbers. We're going to tweak some numbers down if they're a popular blessing. And we're going to tweak numbers up if they're unpopular. And that should change the world. Unfortunately, Raid developers, that will not change the world. You've got a lot of them completely wrong. Yeah, a lot of them are completely wrong. And unfortunately, you're just going to piss people off with this change. That's where we're at. Let's just go through them one by one. We'll go through the changes. And I guess comment below, what do you think? But I'll give you my thoughts as well. Let's start here with the big one then that most people are going to be upset about. Brimstone. Brimstone's probably the most popular blessing. It adds the most value for PvE content, which is stuff that people find most challenging. So it's basically the same. The thing I don't like is this high awakening bonus. Because what it's basically saying is, we want to cater to the whales. We want to cater to the krakens. And, if you're just picking up the 1-star stuff out the shop, well, you know what? You're not going to get the Brucey bonus reward for doing that. And that's not right. This is what the blessing should be. And then just scale the damage based on the star rating. That feels right to me. But the high awakening bonus now, honestly, is it that big a deal? I guess it is in places like Sand Devil where your smite could be removed. Because the thing here is the smite debuff will be protected and guaranteed at a high awakening. And by that, they're talking about 5-star and above. So 5 to 6-star now is the only way you'll get a protected smite. Okay? Places like Clan Boss is not just going to be removed. I can't think of many other bosses that would just clean it off. Maybe Griffin, I guess. Anywhere where they've got a mechanic where they can clean their own debuffs, this is now weaker. Yeah? It's not a PvP skill, so that's not going to be any kind of difference there. So actually what they've done is just reduce the chance for it to land. Yeah, so level 1, 20% has gone to 15. Level 3, 40% has gone to 30, etc. All of the stats are the same in terms of the stats you get on your champions. Actually, that's the same on all of these different blessings. That's not changing anywhere. It's just a percentage stuff to do it. So, if you get to a 6-star, well, you still got a 100% chance of placing your smite, and it would still be protected. So if you get a 6-star, it's exactly the same as it is today. But anything lower than that, they've weakened it. As I say, I'm not that fussed about the percentage chance to land it, personally, because I feel like it is extremely strong as a debuff, right? I just don't like the fact they're kind of like tiering the higher levels, which is like the pay-to-win levels, in a different way than they are the lower levels. That's my view. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Chain Breaker. So Chain Breaker. This one, I don't know, is this going to be a bit more interesting? I don't think really many of these changes will change any meta stuff that's going on, by the way. That's my initial perception. But I've got here, so it changes to, at this point, it's like only activates if this champion is under any of these debuffs. And it's got a 3-turn cooldown. They've removed the cooldown. So they've actually buffed Chainbreaker. So this cooldown has been removed. They've also buffed the percentages here. The percentage chance of removing debuffs from you. It might now actually be interesting, this ability. Chainbreaker might suddenly be a bit more interesting. At higher levels, you've got a 40% chance of removing... 25% chance of removing debuffs now instead of 15. And you've got a 40% chance of increasing turn meter. Honestly, though, I feel like these percentages are probably still too low. You're trying to remove RNG from your side of the board, not still have huge amounts of RNG. So when it's kind of like this 25 and 40, it's probably still too low in percentages. I don't think it's going to completely change the meta. I do like that they've removed the cooldown. I think if they put the percentages up a bit more, this one might have some legs. Dark Resolve. Dark Resolve, just at the highest level, they've added an extra 5%. Still weak as not going to be used. Incinerate. Incinerate. Oh, I fed this back. Even after seeing these for the first time, I fed this back. Raid. HP burn is not meta at all for Arena. You need to change this ability to make it a PvE skill. Currently useless. After the change, guess what? Even if you up the percentages like that, like this, still useless. Okay, Indomitable Spirit. What they've done here, again, just at the kind of highest level, they've enhanced the percentage. Still useless. Lethal Dose. Like the HP burn one, right? Poisons are not Arena meta. They're not even close to it right now. If you see Calvalax in Arena teams, it's because he hits hard, like, or you maybe some fancy girder strat or something, I don't know, but or some sort of AoE explosion. It's not because the poison is doing the damage. Yeah, you up these percentages, it's still completely useless in Arena. Like, make it PvE, please. Have some thought about, if you're going to do a big change like this, have some thought about it. Currently, no change to the meta. Life Harvest then. So this is the one that destroys proportion of enemy max HP. All they've done is they've upped the percentage chance, or upped the amount of enemy max HP. Yeah, that's destroyed. It now goes up to 40% instead of 20%. And you've got a higher turn meter fill. It's potentially interesting. I just feel like it takes too long to do this stuff. So I just don't feel like this is ever going to be part of a meta. I just can't see it. But tell me if I'm wrong. Miracle Heal. This one is potentially a bit more interesting. It's still kind of too weak, but Miracle Heal is the only one really that has any type of real healing mechanic. And don't forget, guys, like, people read the words Miracle Heal, they read Divinity of Light, and they're thinking, oh, this is the one I picked for my healer. What this is doing is, if you've got champions that have got destroyed max HP, it happens in Hydra, it happens against, is it Scarab Boss? It happens in some, like, very niche situations, yeah? It happens, when I'm saying Scarab Boss, it's actually the waves leading up to Scarab Boss. I mean, like, when you're fighting the Lizard Man dude, Skull Lord, yeah? Skull Lord Valdal. He destroys your max HP. Yeah, so when you heal, you've got a chance to restore the destroyed max HP. That's what this does. It doesn't just do anything sort of fancy for healers, which is what we need, by the way, Raid. We need something that's just like a healer's mechanic. So what they've done is they've upped the chance to restore max HP, and they've upped the percentage that you would restore. It's honestly still a bit low, but it's definitely better. Yeah, if you've got someone who does decent heal for your whole team, then against Hydra, this can now be more useful, but it's still not good. Phantom Touch. This is going to piss people off. So Phantom Touch has a chance of inflicting bonus damage. So all of the wording is the same. Yeah, all of it's the same. But the chance to inflict bonus damage has been reduced. So 20 to 15, 40 to 30, 100 to 75. And then chance of a second hit here is an option. Well, all of that gets wrapped into now stage 6. So you only get a second hit chance if you get stage 6. And otherwise, your chance to do bonus damage has gone down. Again, I'm not anti that going down, but it sounds like they're also reducing the actual damage that it does. So they're double slapping Phantom Touch. And honestly, for rares, Phantom Touch is kind of like the only good one that's out there for most stuff. Yeah, it's the only one that's worth picking for most situations. So actually all you're doing here is you're hurting an early player's progression. Yeah, I use Phantom Touch currently on 2 rares, yeah, in my free-to-play. And all you're doing, actually, with nerfing that is nerfing early game progression, which is the worst thing you can do, I think. Survival Instinct. This is probably the other one that maybe has got some legs. Yeah, the change might just about have a bit of a chance. So, what's this here? Partially fills the turn meter whenever a debuff is placed or spread. Yeah. So it goes 2% fill, 4, 7, 10. It's going to 5, 7, 10, 10. It's slightly better. It still probably needs to be a bit more, but this one might actually get some playtime, I think. It might be interesting enough to kind of get that. If you get like a 3-star and above, 7% turn meter fill, 10%. It's not bad. But does it go on instead of some other kind of like quite serious blessings that could go in its place? I don't know, really. Maybe for a support unit in, lower level, like, I don't know, someone like a Hikatoon. If you're playing with that type of comp and you want to get her to kind of cut in if you're not winning the speed race early on, then this could be pretty useful. Divinity of Dark. So this is temporal chains here. What's changing on this one? Basically, decrease their enemy speed for each active buff they are under. But they've changed it now, so there's a slight nerf that it doesn't count for buffs that are placed at the start of a round. So if somebody like Christ is throwing out shield, if Necrit's throwing out all of his buffs, that's not going to kick in at that point. So it's actually a slight nerf for this one, which is a shame because I feel like this one's actually kind of cool. And they've not done anything else to that. So I think that's the last change. Can you believe it? There's not a nerf to Polymorph, which is probably the most toxic blessing in the game for high-end PvP. And honestly, like, I can't believe they've just not thought about changing some of these other blessings which just don't have any... I'm trying to show you. Sorry. They don't have any kind of impact on the game. I just don't really get it. I don't really get it. I don't think they really get it. All they've done is they've basically hard nerfed the two popular ones. I get half of that. I don't like it in full. And they have... Yeah, they've not really buffed or changed the ones which are just useless. So it's a bit of a nothing patch other than we want to piss you off. That's my view. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.